Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Christina from Our Wood Home, coming to you again from my poorly lit basement because I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I preserved for the month of October. I know that we are partway through November already, so I'm a little late getting this video out, but it's okay, better late than never, and I still wanted to share with you all the things that I preserved last month. It wasn't nearly as much as I would have liked, but that's okay because I still got some things added to my home pantry here. Let me grab my little list and consult this. Actually I don't need my list because I've got all my October preserves on one shelf, so that's helpful. I think last time we were in my basement together, I was on the bottom shelf of this metal unit next to us. That's got my September preserves. Yes. And I had hinted that I was taking over another shelf. So I have done that now. I've taken over. It's still a work in progress because my husband's things are still sort of interspersed because we're still trying to figure out how to move everything over into the garage in a way that makes sense and uses the storage space we have. I took over this black plastic shelf, and on the top shelf I just put my canning pots, my steam canner and my pressure canner. This is not mine, it's unrelated to canning stuff. And I'm going to just continue to do one shelf per month, or at least organize everything by month. Since we are into November already, I'm not sure how much I'll be actually canning because, like I've said before, I use my pressure canner outside because it's not rated for my kitchen stove top, so it's very weather dependent. Anyways, let's get into what I actually put in jars in October. Starting with some salsa verde. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so I apologize if it's a mispronunciation. I had about 10 pounds of green tomatoes that didn't quite make it to full ripeness this year. So I made 3 jars of the salsa, actually 4 jars of salsa. And I just water bath canned those, or steam canned them, I should say. I also did 7 jars of just green tomato puree. This isn't seasoned, it's just cooked a little bit so that it's softer consistency, and then I pureed it and canned it with a little bit of lemon juice in each jar. And this was also water bath canned. Steam canned. I keep saying water bath canned, but I mean steam canner because I use a steam canner, but until recently I was using an actual water bath canner. So with the green tomatoes, I'm just going to mix this into any other tomato dish that we're having, like a sauce or chili or anything else I can think of, just to use it up. Okay, next is 3 jars of potato kale soup. I know it's hard to see anything because the jars are dark, but it's in there. I didn't puree the soup because I couldn't figure out if pureed potatoes were safe for pressure canning. So what I did was just make like a little broth and cooked the potatoes a little bit and put those into the jars with some shredded kale and seasonings. Can't remember the exact recipe, but if you'd like I can put the link in the comments. And this was pressure canned. I did 3 more jars of vegetable stock. Again, it's in a dark glass jar so you can't really see it, but it's there. It doesn't really look like much, it just looks like slightly tinted liquid. That was also pressure canned. Let's see. I finally harvested all my carrots. It wasn't very much, unfortunately, but it was still something. So I managed to get 2 jars of canned carrots, pressure canned. They're not salted, they're just put in here plain, and then I can have some more variety with how I want to use them. I also did 2 jars of parsnips. Same method as the carrots. And now the last thing, let me look for good looking jar, because the jars do not look great, I'll be honest. This one, it looks okay, I guess. So I did more chili. This time it's a lighter chili because I used some of my green tomatoes and red tomatoes, and I used sausage meat instead of ground beef. So I just bought regular butcher prepared sausages at the grocery store and just cut off the casing and cooked up the meat inside. And I canned it for the same amount of time as I did with my beef chili. Again, this one has no corn or beans, which is what I like in my chili, but the recipe didn't include those, so I didn't include it in mine either. And I was kind of running out of jars for the chili because it can't be done in the 1 liter jars like this size. So I had to use small jars, but I didn't have enough 500 ml jars, so I kind of just used whatever I had, processed it all for the same amount of time, and it should be fine. So I've got a mix of these 500 ml wide mouth jars, and then these teeny little 250 ml jars. And this probably doesn't look like a serving, but I could just put 2 together and make a serving, or just pat it out with some rice and corn, or whatever else. So for the sausage chili I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 jars. And that is everything that I canned in October. I'm hoping to still do some more stock. I've got some jars in my fridge that need to be reheated and then pressure canned, but it's very weather dependent, so those might just end up going into the freezer, which is okay. Not ideal, but it's fine. And I'm thinking this month I'll maybe just focus on making some more ready-to-eat meals, such as soups, or maybe even more chili, because I really love chili in the winter. I still haven't decided when I'll start cracking into these jars, especially the meal jars. Stuff like jam we're using just whenever we want, but I'm still kind of hesitant to open my jars of corn, for example, because I like coming down here and looking at them sitting there all pretty. I don't come down just to look at the jars. I come down for other things, but I look at the jars while I'm here. I think that's all I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, I hope that you consider subscribing, and be sure to check out my canning playlist at the end of this video. Again, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.